They are not humans. They go by the names of Nova Flame, Katia. Do not let their physical appearance deceive you.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Here you can see some relics. These are kind of like old Stone Age types of tools. See there? That seems like something that looks like part of a hammer, I believe, and some pieces of axe. I believe this is after the revolution happened, where they started producing nicer tools, you know, all that kind of stuff. Pretty interesting. So just to give a contrast, this is kind of how it began, how the tools began in the complete beginning, and this is kind of how they evolved into after we found out how to do livestock farming, all that stuff. Pretty interesting. And here you can kind of see all kinds of other stuff. Like here's how axes used to look like. We already looked at this, but I thought about showing it again. Kind of just some tools, how they made them back in the day. Some of these are actually made out of real bone, like real skeleton bones from from animals and stuff like that. Pretty crazy. Like I believe these are in these, I believe are as well, which is pretty damn interesting that they made these out of bones. Quite cool, gotta tell you. And here's the kind of like the evolution of the axe, so we can see how it began back in the Stone Age, like that, and then what it became after a while. So that's kind of like the axe book pretty much everybody has in their back garden. But you can see how it began. It didn't begin in any sort of pretty way, it just began as a bit formed rock on a stick. Later, it became this. Pretty cool. And obviously, after farming began, then they started building this sort of way. So they started building more advanced houses, because before that they pretty much just built, like lived in caves or built something, just dug up a ditch or shit, or something like that. But after farming began and livestock started taking over and people started getting their own skill sets, then they just started building this sort of, started building their houses in this sort of way. So much more advanced and much more better. So you can actually check out over here. See it right in there. Check that out. Pretty cool. And here we just can see some hunting stuff. Like you can see when they started fishing, that's a sinker right there. And all kinds of other stuff. That's a part of an axe, I believe. I'm not sure, but I think this is a replica of kind of like how the ships. There you can see how the huts look like during the winter. Now obviously there was a lot of snow because there wasn't any climate change really, so you can see that the snow pretty much buried the buildings right underneath the surface. Pretty crazy. Okay, well, that was pretty cool. I gotta tell you, that was actually pretty cool. So, yeah. I really don't know what to say. It was very interesting to actually, not to only talk about all this and research all of it, but it was also very interesting to actually go and explore all this stuff. You like see stuff in person, like real Stone Age stuff. Yeah, it was very interesting this time. I really just wanted to make this part to say that I really do want to make more of these sort of historical documentaries. I think it would be pretty interesting. I mean, sure, there will be the normal like conspiracy documentaries and ghost hunts and everything like that. I'll be doing those too. We're already planning with my dad. We're already planning on one to do. But we're going to be doing these
Turn on the news, a sad state of affairs. Half the people dying while the rest of us are splitting hairs. It's a good world. Good world gone bad.
Alright, so here we have the modern day axe. This is the axe which you probably see in most households. Been through a lot. So that's that. Then here we have the Stone Age axe. Now there's a problem with the Stone Age axe, and you probably can tell it's much smaller than this one. Now, I know it's going to be hard to tell the differences, but I'll try to comment them. Just pretend that they're the same size, okay? Okay. And here it is. The moment of truth. The Stone Age axe, or what looks like a Stone Age axe. Alright. So I think it's supposed to be, yeah, it's a necklace. I think it's supposed to be that way. So first of all, we can tell that the edge on this one is much more of a straighter, but a bit of a bulge on it. And then the tip is a very smooth tip. On this, it's actually a pointy tip. This pretty sharp still, like this one, but it's not as smooth. This is definitely more groggy around. Now normally what there would be, it would obviously have this part. Now that part I'll simulate it with, I guess this. That part would come down like this on it. Like that. So it would be attached right here. Then it would come down like this. So swing wise, I can say probably the modern day axe would have more swinging power. But the Stone Age axe, I'm seeing some problems with the Stone Age axe, and that's with the main, obviously it's not the stick to it, but whatever, is making something out of wood and not really knowing which wood is the best. Obviously they might have known, but whatever. Let's say that they made it out of some sort of cheap, shitty wood. That would probably break on the first 2 or 3 trees that you could chop down, or the few. Well, it was mostly used for hunting animals, so I can probably see why the pointy edge is there, just because you can hunt animals probably better with that. And this might be a bit harder to get through an animal, especially if it's a big animal like a bull or something like that. Yeah, I need to probably say, if I'm gonna choose one, I would obviously choose this one, but I feel like this made out of the right wood and this moving out, this would actually make for a pretty good modern day axe. Now obviously this, as I already said, you can't really comment on this because you don't really know what wood they made it out of. There was some tools, some axes which were also just like this, so they didn't even have that thing. Some of them did, but at the early stages, it was pretty much this. This was the axe, and then you just chop down wood or hunted. Well, you probably didn't hunt animals with this, but whatever. Like, this was the modern, and this was the original without the main shaft. Thinking about that, taking this into account, I would never be able to split wood with just holding it like this and not having the spinning power of this. So, I mean, I gotta give it to the Stone Age people. They were pretty far up their time. At their time, this was pretty good. I would consider this a pretty big success for the time, but it just has nothing compared to the modern day axe, just because we have learned so much over the years. And that's something which I also wanted to come up on this. You have learned so much over the years. I mean, most people don't even use axes to chop wood. They use, well, we use a thing called, I don't remember what it is on English, but on Swedish, no, on Finnish, it's called klappikone. So that's what we use at home. So we don't even use that axe that much, although I do use somehow or another. But an axe is kind of obsolete, or has become kind of obsolete in the modern day mechanical standards. I mean, we're moving into like chainsaws, which are battery powered these days. Like, we're not even in the gas stage of chainsaws, which is a whole different thing. Back in the day, people used to chop down wood with this, literally chop down trees with this, and then they changed to gas powered chainsaws, and now we're going into electric chainsaws. It's crazy how much the world is changing. So yeah, but gotta say, early people had it pretty good with this thing. Alright, so everything what I can say now is, I don't know. I mean, the only thing what I know is this is definitely better, but can you really compare it to this? I mean, because this was like, what, over 1 million years ago. And, well, no, it wasn't 1 million years ago, but whatever. That was centuries ago. And this, well, this is just new. This is literally just a new product which came out a few years ago. So, like, I don't know if you can really compare these. I mean, if we go down to like the 1800s axes, then I guess you could probably start seeing some sort of similarities with these, but with this and this, no, I don't think so. Anyway, so that's what I'm gonna leave it off on. So anyway, I guess we'll just say bye then.
Once I lived a life of a millionaire. Had so much money, I didn't care. I took my friends out for a mighty good time. Bootleg liquor, champagne and wine. Then I got busted and I felt so low. Didn't have no money, no place to go. This is true, without any doubt. Nobody wants you in you.
I hope that's not a blood stain. A Stone Age blood stain. Bad joke.